Good evening, everyone. Welcome to EduTap. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to EduTap. So, am I audible to all of you? Nilesh is saying good evening, sir. Am I audible to all of you so that we can start our lecture now? Can you please confirm in the chat box? Hi Nilesh, how are you? How's your preparation going? So I can see today there are a good number of people in my lecture. So I think yesterday part 1 of finance MCQs was good. And in today's lecture, we are going to cover again a 40 question set. But mind you, my friends, we are going to cover variety of concepts, and all these concepts are really very important for all of you. And for phase 2 purpose, if you see the objective part as well as the descriptive part, this particular session will be really very important for all of you, and I have included only those MCQs which will allow me to have a good discussion with all of you. Okay, so let's start with today's session, and I formally welcome you all to EduTap. So let's start with our today's session. So right now, if you want to have the PDF of this particular lecture for just revision purpose, you can subscribe to our Telegram channel, and for all the free courses and all, you have our YouTube channel as well. Moreover, if you are just revising with the PDF thing, then I think it's a big loss for you, because in today's lecture we will be covering variety of questions, variety of concepts, and I request you all to please watch the video, and if you are liking my videos, then you can give me a good comments in your comment box. So currently we are running a super sale, which is like flat 30% plus additional 20% off on all these courses. So if you aspire to become an RBI Grade B officer in the batch of 2023, or if you aspire to become an NABARD Grade A officer in the batch of 2022, you can use this particular code, which is valid till 10th of June. So now, my dear friends, now the race begins, and I request you all to please be participative. So I have a counter of 1 minute, but I will be waiting for hardly 30 seconds because I do not want to waste your time. So let's see who gives me the answer for question number 1. The Dash Bank is a public sector financial institution, okay, which helps in the MSME thing. This is question taken directly from the financial inclusion, and mind you, my friends, financial inclusion is a very important topic for all of you. So let's see who gives me the correct answer. Who give me the correct answer for question number 1? Anji, so maximum of you are now going with D. Okay, I can see Nilesh and Manas is going with D. Yes, the correct answer here will be Mudra. That is Micro Unit Development and Refinance Agency. And just to add to your knowledge, Mudra is a particular bank which helps in the development of MSMEs. Most importantly, please note this particular point, that Mudra was launched in the year 2015 in the month of April itself. If you see the current affairs thing, Mudra is very much in the news. And if you go deep into this particular scheme, you will find that there are 3 types of loan which is given. The first is Shishu, Kishore, and Tarun. If you have the total, I would say total knowledge based on Mudra, then you will also know that under Sishu, loans worth of rupees 1 to 50,000 is provided, and under Kishore, loans worth of 50,000 to 5 lakhs are provided, and under Tarun, you have loans from 5 lakh to 10 lakh. So if the question is about the maximum amount of loan under which MSME or under which any institution can avail a loan under Mudra, the answer will be 10 lakh. And if you find this particular question, that what is the minimum amount of loan under which loans can be taken under Mudra, then mind you, my dear friends, do not mark your answer as 10 lakh. You have to understand 10 lakh is the maximum limit. Minimum can be from rupees 1 on one also. Do not mark your answer as 50,000. 50,000 is the upper limit of Shishu. So for loans, I would say the minimum amount of loan would be rupee 1, and it can start up from there on. Now if you are dealing with financial inclusion, so yesterday I was reading this particular report, of which is like a very important report of RBI annual report, which is goes by the name of RBI annual report. So RBI has recently released this particular report. So let me ask you this particular question. There is a financial inclusion index. How many indicators are there in this particular index? Come on, I need your answer from this. The options are 90, 91, 97, 98 or 100. How many indicators are there under the financial inclusion index? I will be waiting for all of your answers, because this is really very important. Let's see who gives me the right answer. Three parameters. Okay, yes. The correct answer is 97 indicators. And also, my dear friends, please note this particular point, that there is no base year in financial inclusion index, but there is also a digital payment index, wherein there are 5 categories and 26 indicators. If you want to read more, then you will have to I would say understand or the read RBI annual report. Under DPI, the base year is March 2018. This is really very important index when it comes to the financial inclusion. Now I am not reading all this different explanation. It's for you to read. I have covered two very important, I would say three very important initiatives for financial inclusion. That is Mudra, the Financial Inclusion Index, and the DPI. These are like very much important for your phase 2 objective as well as for your subjective. Question number 2, my friends. Now we are moving ahead in the field of financial inclusion. So this is regarding your retail agents which are engaged for providing banking services at locations other than bank or ATM. So you have to identify that particular entity from this particular question. I need answers for question number 2. Let's see who's give me the right answer right now. Mind you, my friends, if you are not noting all these different points, then it's totally your loss. I request you all to please make sure that you are having good financial knowledge. So Manas is going with B. Yes. Yes, my dear friends. If you are having a good knowledge regarding the BC and BC model, BC and BF model, my bad, sorry. This particular model was introduced by RBI in 2006. Under BC and BF model, if you go deep into this particular topic, you will understand that banks appoint certain person which is known as business correspondents, and this particular person or this particular entity now goes into different I would say rural households, and they provide basic financial services. Please remember this particular point. You will not find every universal banking services. They only provide basic financial services. If you see business, this BF, there can be a question on BC or BF. So BF is like also very restricted activities of banking. The work is the same, that is they will go into different rural households and they will do the basic banking services, but BC is allowed to do more basic banking services as compared to BF. The model was launched in 2006. This is really very important, and I request you all to please incorporate all these different small points in your descriptive answers. So I'm not reading again the whole explanation. This is for all of you to understand and to revise. Now let's come to question number 3. Now we are coming to a very important concept of alternative sources of finance. So let me see the chat box. Who will give me the right answer for question number 3? Who will give me the right answer for question number 3, my friends? Let me see the chat box again. So I'm waiting for your answers right now. Question number 3, my friends. Yes, BC can do a monetary transaction. BF cannot do a monetary transaction. Truly correct. Now I can see Nilesh is coming back in his old form. Yesterday he was thoda off late and off color, I would say. Yes. If you see when it comes to alternative sources of finance, majorly if you see, there is different concepts of leasing. There is a concept of franchising. There is a concept of P2P firms. There is a concept of, let's say, crowdsourcing as well. So all this, I would say, all this forms an integral part of alternative sources of finance. So if we are discussing about leasing, under this particular concept, you have to understand that there are two parties in most of the cases, but in certain types of leasing there can be three parties as well. But if the question is about the journal language, then there are only two parties. The first is lessor and the second is lessee. So lessor is the one who owns the asset. He is the owner of the asset. Okay, and he is the one who gives the right of use to lessee for that particular asset. So lessee is the one who takes the asset. Okay, who takes the asset from lessor. Now my dear friends, please understand this, that if lessor gives the asset to lessee, then there are some rentals as well which is given back to the lessor. Now if you see, there are two types of very important, I would say, leasing agreements. The first is operating lease and the second is financial lease. Okay, under operating lease, it is known as a short-term lease. You will find this particular lease wherein short-term trading of lease assets take place. But under financial asset, long-term lease take place. This particular lease is also known as full payout lease. This is generally done for more than 50 years, or even in some cases it is done for 99 years as well. So this is full payout lease. Okay, so in these different types of lease agreement, there are only two parties. Okay, please mind this particular point. But under this leverage lease, where the amount involved is too much, there can be three parties as well. There will be lessor, there will be lessee, and there will be third party, which will be known as, I would say, the financer, or you can also say that it is providing a financial institution. It's a financial institution which provides funds. So under leverage lease, the amount involved is too much. Okay, so if we see the question again, statement B will be correct. Yes. Why? Because the one pays the rent to a lessee is known as lessee and the owner of the asset is known as lessor. So this is correct. Now my dear friends, let me test your knowledge on P2P. I hope you know about P2P firms. So can you let me know what is the minimum net worth requirement for P2P firms? Can you let me know what is the minimum net worth requirement for P2P firms? And chalo, first let's answer this. Akshay, please write this particular query on this particular mail, hello@edutap.co.in. You will get the detailed schedule of this particular query. Hanji, so who will be giving me the right answer that what is the minimum net worth requirement of P2P firms? It's 2 crore or 20 million. Please mind the denominations. It's 2 crore rupees or 20 million rupees. Please note this particular point. And in 2017, RBI has been decided as the regulator of this particular firms. That is, all the P2P firms are now regulated by RBI. The regulations were released in the year 2007. More importantly, if you see P2P firms or P2P, I would say, activities are also known as debt oriented crowdsourcing. This is also very important point. So if you see, if you are having a different knowledge on crowdsourcing, my friends, if you know about crowdsourcing, there is a very important concept of, let's say, litigation crowdsourcing. Under this particular crowdsourcing, there is a common I would say legal case wherein all the different parties contribute. There is also a reward crowdfunding. Reward crowdfunding are generally done by startups which has a huge gestation period. They need funds for making their, I would say, blueprint or something. And there is also debt-based crowdfunding. The debt-based crowdfunding is as good as P2P activities. So I hope I have covered maximum of the things regarding alternative sources of finance. So again, this is your homework to read this particular. Yes, I can see now. Maximum of you are saying it's 2 crore. Superb. Now let's come to question number 4. This is regarding franchise. That's why I didn't cover that particular topic in the previous slide. Now my dear friends, who will tell me what is the best option which describes franchise? I am not waiting for much time right here, because in the phase 2 of RBI you are required to answer 20 questions of 2 markers and 10 questions of 1 marker under just 30 minutes. So my dear friends, all this question which are on your screen, you have to make an habit of answering this question ASAP. I'm not giving you the exact time, but ASAP stands for as soon as possible. So answer this particular question now. So Nilesh is going with statement A. Okay. Nilesh is going with statement A. Sahaji is also going with statement A. Manas is also going with statement A. Yes, my dear friends, not wasting much of your time. A leasing agreement between a company and the party of the licensing used to have this. Now, my dear friends, this is a basic definition of franchise. Now, my dear friends, if you understand the types of franchise, let's discuss about the types of franchise. Under types of franchise, basically there are three types of franchises. First is product franchise. Under product franchise, the let's say a company A is there and company B is there. Company B is called as a franchisee and the company A is known as a franchisor. So company A will grant certain rights of that particular product to company B, as simple as that. For example, if you have heard about Coca-Cola, okay, so Coca-Cola gives the right of trademark, gives the right of a bottle shape as well as different size of dimensions of a bottle to a company, to a retailer as well. So you will see that is product franchise. Now, my dear friends, there is also a franchise which is known as business franchise. Let's take an example of MacD, all our favorite Burger King, my favorite Domino's. Okay, so these are an example of business franchise. Why? Because here the franchisor is, let's say, Jubilance. If you know that Domino's is a brand of Jubilance something karke, so that particular company will grant a right of use to a certain person, which is in our case it's known as franchisee. So under business franchise, I will give the right of whole, I would say, setup. If you see all the Domino's outlet all across India, they are having the same setup. You will see that they are having the same theme. So this is an example of business franchise. Same goes with KFC, same goes with different eating outlets as well. Now the third type of franchise is known as management franchise. Under management franchise, I will just opt for consultancy. So if you see big investment banks, they are providing management franchise. I hope this particular point is also very much clear to you. Now, my dear friends, in question number 4, let me tell you one more important fact that regarding financial inclusion, because I have promised you that I will not waste your time. So let me make this particular session very interesting for you. In 2006, there was a committee. This particular point just came in my mind, so I'm discussing regarding this point with you, and make sure that you are adding this point in your descriptive answers, because if you are not able to take the advantage of such fodder material, then it's totally your loss. Now, if you see in 2006, there was a committee which is known as YV Reddy. He is also the chairman of 14th Finance Commission. I hope you know about it. Now, under 2006, there was a committee of YV Reddy, and this particular committee formally articulated the word of financial inclusion under the policy framework of RBI. So please remember this committee regarding financial inclusion. It can be part of your, I would say, objective part, and if it is not a part of objective, if there is something regarding financial inclusion in descriptive part, start your answer with this and bang on. You will have a professional look on your answer. So please notice all this point. Now we have just mentioned about 14th Finance Commission. So can you let me know who is the current chairman of 15th Finance Commission? Let's see who gives me the right answer. Who is the current chairman, or I would say the chairman of 15th Finance Commission? Come on, I need answers. Let's make this session a bit more interactive. Who is the current chairman of 15th Finance Commission? I'm waiting for all of your answers. Yes, it's NK Singh, which is who is Nand Kishore Singh. And mind you, my friends, there was a question in RBI 2021 descriptive regarding 15th Finance Commission. And for your first, the period of operation of 15th Finance Commission is 2021 to 2026. I hope this particular point is now also clear to you. Now, my dear friends, let's move to the chapter Forex. Again, directly picked from your syllabus. Let's move to Forex now. Yes, I can see maximum of you are going with the right answer. Nilesh, Divya Mukhi. Saha is also giving the right answer. So let me see the chat box. Okay, now my dear friends, question number 5. Until then, I will take just a small water break. I'm waiting for your answers for question number 5. Uttam is coming with D. Okay. So I can see maximum of you are coming with D. Okay, maximum of you are coming with D. Yes, the answer is D only, because you have to identify the component which is not a part of the forex reserve, which is held by RBI. So this question was incomplete rather, but I can see maximum of you have given the right answer. So generally there are four components of your forex reserves which is maintained by RBI. Now the first component is foreign currency asset, which is also known as FC. So this is the reserve via which RBI keeps it in a different reserve. For example, let's say USD, UK, as well as yen, yuan, and whatever you want to have. So this is the highest, and also note this point. This is the highest component, I would say contributor to the forex reserve. So if you are listening that RBI forex reserve recently it has reduced, I know that is around 600 billion dollars right now. If you see, the maximum component of this particular chunk of number will be constituted by foreign currency assets. The next best is gold. If you are having thorough knowledge of your current affairs, and all important current affairs will be there in the phase 2, so I hope you know about it, that RBI was the second largest purchaser of gold. I hope you know about this. Although RBI purchased 77 million tons of gold in this particular financial year, the first was Bank of Thailand, and you have to note this particular point. This is a report which was released by World Gold Council, if I am not wrong. Okay, so the gold component is also very important. Now we come to special drawing rights. Under special drawing rights, there are, I would say, different currency sets. So if I am not wrong, there are 5 currency sets when it comes to the special drawing rights. The 5 currency are USA ka USD, UK ka pound, that is sterling pound. If you also see, we have 2 countries from Asia as well, that is Japan and China. So Japan ka yen tha, and if you are having a current knowledge that China has renminbi, and for EU as well, EU ka total is euro. So you have to remember this particular knowledge as well. Now this particular statement D was incorrect because reserve portion with World Bank is wrong. It is IMF. So please note all such points, and this is really very crucial for your phase 2. It can be different. They can ask you question regarding forex reserves, and they can ask about gold, and they can twist the question towards the current affair. And mind you, my friends, in phase 2 everything is like totally unpredictable. Okay, so I hope this much is very much clear to you. Now my question to you is, now we have discussed about World Bank. The current chairman is, I think, David Malpass, if I am not wrong. Okay, now you have to tell me how many companies are there under, or I would say how many institutions are there in World Bank. World Bank is known as a World Bank group. Okay, I hope you know this. How many institutions are there under this? How many institutions are there under World Bank? So if you see the whole, if I make this as a World Bank, how many institutions are there? 5 institutions. Superb. So Manas is going with all the guns. That really good. So Nilesh is joining the race with 5. Anyone else? If I say 5 is incorrect. Uttam is also coming with 5. Divya is also coming with 5. Pooja is also coming with 5. Yes, the correct answer is 5 only. So please note this particular point. The first is IDA. IDA stands for International Development Association, if I am not wrong. The second is MEGA, Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency. I hope you know about the current chairman of this particular institution. If you know about it, recently an Indian origin person has been appointed to MEGA. So now you have to let me know the name of that particular person in the comment box below. The third is IFC, International Finance Corporation, which is very famous for your masala bonds. Then there is some institution which is known as IBRD. That is your International Bank for Redevelopment and something, I don't remember the exact full form. Then you also have this particular international settlement of disputes. International settlement of disputes, something is there. So I hope you know about all this different institution. If you are not able to recall any one of them, use options. But to the best of my knowledge, these are the 5 institutions which are there under the World Bank group. Hanji. So now let's move to question number 6. This is my favorite question till today because there is lots to discuss on this particular question. Hanji, so let's see who gives me the right answer of factoring. There is a group regarding factoring services. So who was the founder of, I would say, yes, Pooja is I would say has commented the right answer. Yes, thank you, Rajneesh. It was a slip of my tongue. It was reconstruction and development. So thank you, Rajneesh. Pooja Pincha has given the right answer. Junaid Kamal Ahmed. I think it's a Bangladesh origin. So in flow, I just told about Indian origin. My bad. I think it's from Bangladesh. Hanji. So now let's come to question number 6. I'm waiting for all of your answers. Let me see the chat box who give me the right answer for question number 6. Hanji, so who will give me the right answer for question number 6? So Nilesh has started the answer string, I would say, with B. Kalyan Sundaram. Okay. So let's see what is the response of other aspirants. I request you everyone to participate because this is really very important of phase 2. Right now we have covered more than, I will say, 50 questions in a span of just 24 minutes. So I hope you understand the importance of coming in my lectures. Now question number 6, my friend. Let's see who gives me the right answer. I'm waiting for your answers. UK Sinha. First time I think Manas has opted for a wrong option. UK Sinha committee is for MSME. Yesterday only I have told you. Please revise the lectures. This is really very important for you. Don't do such silly mistakes. Yes, my friends, the answer will be Kalyan Sundaram Group. But before moving ahead, let's discuss about factoring. Factoring Regulation Act was passed in year 2011. Please note this particular point. Recently, factoring, I would say, certain regulations have also been released by RBI. If you know, if an all the people or all the institutions who are giving factoring services, they have to register as an NBFC. So they are known as NBFC factors, and the minimum net worth is 5 crore. Please note all such points. Moreover, according to the principal business criteria of RBI, principal business criteria says that if an NBFC factor is there, then assets of that particular company has to be minimum invested, 50% has to be invested into the factoring assets. So this is really very important. And in the year 1988, RBI has formed a group under Kalyan Sundaram study group, and he was the person who first made the formal steps towards factoring. So I hope you know about it. This is really very crucial for you. Okay. Moreover, if you are reading CA, there is a firm which is known as 121 Finance, if I am not wrong. Okay, this is the firm which was earlier registered as NBFC ICC. Okay, there are different categories of NBFCs. I hope you know about it. This particular firm was the first NBFC to convert itself into NBFC factor. I hope you know it. And the headquarter of this firm is in Jaipur. I think this much is very much enough for factoring. Although factoring is a very important, I would say, concept for MSMEs as well. So I hope you know about different concepts. Although there is some I would say less time for me, so I have to cover a variety of subjects. So let's move ahead. Now, if you are, let me tell you this particular knowledge regarding RBI annual report. RBI annual report has specifically mentioned about UK Sinha committee. There were 37 recommendations which have been made by the UK Sinha committee. Although not this particular report is not fully accepted by RBI. If you want to study, by tomorrow we will be releasing our annual report in our courses. So you will study about this particular committee in annual report. So please read about this. This is really very important. If you say Bimal Jalan committee, this is, I would say, the basic, I would say the most important committee of RBI till now, because this particular committee has recommended economic capital framework, contingency reserve of 5.5. Yesterday only we have discussed this. Bimal Jalan committee has also recommended the change into the financial year of RBI. Usha Thorold committee is very important when it comes to offshore rupee market. If you understand the meaning of offshore, it's okay, but if you don't understand, just remember that it has to be stability of rupee. We have to make sure that the stability of rupee takes place. Tapan Ray committee, again special mention has been made under the RBI annual report. If you understand it, Tapan K committee was there for ICCIC, that is core investment companies. Okay, core investment companies के regulations को लेके we have Tapan Ray committee. And mind you, if what is core investment company, just in one line I am telling you that core investment companies are generally those companies which invest only in the group of that particular, I would say, companies. For example, if you have Reliance, then Reliance can have their own CIC, and Reliance, that particular entity which is now formed by Reliance, will only invest in those particular subsidiaries of Reliance only. So this is also very important concept. And if you remember, if you want to have an extra knowledge, the limit of registration of this particular entity is 100 crore. Again, a very important concept regarding factoring. I hope it was very much clear to you. Again, one more committee was there, Kelkar committee. Kelkar committee is the backbone of PPP models, that is public-private partnerships. Okay, so I hope this much is very much clear to you. Now let's move to question number 7. Hanji, so let's see. It's one-to-one finance. I can, no issues. Manas, correct yourself right now, because don't make these silly mistakes in the real exam. Now, Exim Act was passed in which year? A very easy question, directly taken from your financial institutions. Financial institutions. Previous year also there was a question in descriptive part. So if you don't know about the launch year of different financial institutions, then you will fall, I would say, short of word limit. Or if you know it, revise it maximum times with me, and seriously you will be able to complete your answer in very much less time. Hanji, so I can see maximum of you are going with option B. Okay, and let me know who is the current chairman of Export and Import Bank of India. Who is the current chairman of Export and Import Bank of India? Or till then I will decorate my I would say screen with some beautiful institutions. Come on, I need answers from everyone. Okay. Who is the current chairman of Exim Bank? Yes, Harsha Bangri. Okay, Exim Bank is located in Mumbai. So if you see, Exim Bank year was passed, Exim Bank Act was passed in 1981. The financial institution launched its operation in the year 1982. Mind this, this is really very important. Mumbai, and I have just told you about Harsha Bangri. If you see NABARD, NABARD is like copy paste of this particular institution. NABARD Act 1981. NABARD was formally launched in 1982. NABARD was recommended by very important committee B. Sivaraman. Even in the phase 1 of RBI, they have asked you regarding the paid up capital of NABARD. So financial institution is really very important. NABARD headquarter again in Mumbai. Very important to understand. NABARD is running a very important fund, RIDF. I hope you know about it. Launched in 1995. RIDF is Rural Infrastructure Development Fund. If you come to SEBI, SEBI is also very important institution, because MSME is very much in the news. The act was passed in 1989, launched formally on 2nd April 1990. SEBI again is very much in the news because of MSMEs. I hope you know about MSMEs, different criteria. If you don't know, do it right now after the lecture. SEBI is located in Lucknow. I hope you know about it. The current chairman is I would say Raman S something. I'm not remembering the full form of S. SEBI was, some people say that SEBI was launched in the year 1992. This is completely false. Please note that SEBI was initially started operation in 1988, although SEBI Act was passed in 1992. The current chairman is Madhupari Butch. If you know about, she is the first female chairman of SEBI. Now let me ask you about IRDA. IRDA, that is Insurance Development Regulatory Authority of India. Comment your answers, the current chairman and the launch, as well as the act of this particular institution. Hanji. So let's now move to a very important question on corporate governance on banking. This is not your management section, I know, but this is a chapter which has been specifically mentioned. Yes, S. Raman. Thank you. I was not able to recall the full form of S in S. Raman. Now we are coming to question number 8. There has been different committees of corporate governance, and corporate governance is a very basic question you can see in your phase 2 as well as in the, I would say, in the descriptive as well as in the objective part. So Ganguly committee, this is not Saurav Ganguly committee, mind you, this is Ganguly committee. Hanji. So Akhil is going with E, risk management committee. Okay, let me see if I can have correct answers. Let me see who will give me the correct answer for question number 8. My dear friend, this is based on static only. Okay, so you have to understand what are the key recommendations of Ganguly committee when it comes to banking. And if you are understanding the corporate governance of banking in the year 2014, I hope you know that PJ Nayak committee was one of the watershed movement when it comes to the corporate governance of banking sector. In the year 2014, corporate PJ Nayak committee recommended Banks Board Bureau. This is also very important, which was earlier known as Bank Investment Company. Again, a very important fact: Banks Board Bureau has been entrusted with the responsibilities of picking up chiefs of different PSBs. Very important question. So I can see maximum of you are going with wrong option. It's operation committee. Risk management committee was one of the recommendations. So this is really purely based on the static knowledge regarding the Ganguly committee. I know it's a very tough question, but you have to remember this particular question. Now we are coming to question number 9. Again we are coming to financial institutions. Let's see who give me the right answer. Yes, if you don't know about the question, then it's very good to skip it. If you go to the MSD movie, if you go to the Dhoni's movie, that is MSD, it's good to duck when a bouncer is there instead of hitting your face with stitches or with different speeds. Okay, now let's see who give me the right answer for question number 9. Question number 9, my friends. Let's see who gives me the right answer for a NHB. NHB Act 1987. NHB policy was passed in 1988. The current chairman, if I'm not wrong, is Sharad Kumar Hota. New Delhi is the headquarter place of this particular. Yes. So Rangaranjan committee. Yes, superb. The answer will be Rangaranjan committee. And mind you, my dear friends, in 2011 again, Rangaranjan committee is very important for financial inclusion. So if you know about financial inclusion, there is too much to write on financial inclusion. So please remember all these different facts. We have covered about PJ Nayak committee. We have also covered Bimal Jalan committee. This is the most important committee of RBI till now. Although why I am saying it, because it has made some structural changes into the RBI. Urjit Patel committee, again former governor of RBI. Urjit Patel committee is very important when it comes to MPC, inflation targeting framework. I know you know about FIT, inflation targeting framework. 4 plus minus 2 inflation targeting framework. We will discuss this in the later part of the chapter in inflation, so be there with me till the end of this lecture, because there will be very good discussion. So yes, the answer is D. We have discussed this pretty much on the length, and let me see if I have missing something. Yes, we have covered this very much. Now my dear friends, which of the following is the central location of forex market? A very easy question. Low hanging fruit. Low hanging, I would say H. Okay, so low hanging fruit. Yes, Urjit Patel committee, MPC 2016. Very good. I can see Nilesh is taking full advantage of the LPS, that is live practice session, which are currently going on Zoom. So let's see who give me the right answer for question number. Let me see the chat box. Okay, I'm waiting for all of your answers. Please comment. So maximum of you are going with London. Okay, this is now not a low hanging fruit. This has become a tough hanging fruit rather. London, maximum of you are going with London. Central location in forex market, the answer will be E. There is no central location, although majority of the forex market takes place in this particular institution. And let me discuss this particular concept regarding the settlement in forex market. Forex market is a very important component of your syllabus. So when it comes to the settlement of forex market, there are 4 ways via which settlement can take place. I hope you know about it. Let me discuss it with you. The first and the foremost is ready or cash. Ready or cash में on the same day of transaction the settlement is completed. तो यहाँ पे याद रखना same day. Then the second is Tom. Tom is short for tomorrow. Tomorrow, not Tom and Jenny. Please note this particular point. It's tomorrow. Okay, so it's like T+1. And mind you, my friends, India is just implementing T+1 for selected companies. Right now, maximum of the companies are in T+2 only. So don't go with T+1 just because it is very much in the news. The second one is the forward, or I would say the third one. Forward in Hindi language, it is also known as Badla. This under this particular component, future in this particular component, a specific date is taken A specific date is taken. Okay, a specific date is taken via which contracts are taken. And the last one is spot. And spot is T plus 2. Remember this particular concept. That, for example, if transaction is happening today, then the settlement of funds will take place after 2 days. A very important component. Yes, Akhil Sridhar has given the right answer now. It's no central location. Superb. So I hope you know about different components of forex market. If you don't, if you are having more time, then please allow me to tell you that about there are different accounts. 3 accounts which are generally maintained by different institutions, especially in India as well as in the, I would say, in India as well as outside. This is a part of your international banking. I hope you have covered this. The first is Nostro, second is Vostro, and the third is Loro. Okay, so if for example HDFC Bank, which is an Indian bank, I hope you know about it. Indian bank is looking to deposit its fund, or it is willing to have some settlement of fund in the US. Let's take Citibank. Then they will be using Nostro account. For HDFC, it will be a Nostro account. So what Nostro means? Ours. Okay, this is really very important. Vostro is just opposite of Nostro. Nostro means what? When the Citibank is looking for its settlement of the funds in India. This is really very important. Loro is standing for there. There it is a third party. Okay, for example, let's say now SBI is also coming into the picture. So now SBI will tie up with HDFC to settle its fund in the US. So if you are having time, read about this particular types of fund. This is really very important for your, I would say, phase 2, as well as it can be used when the question is regarding international banking. Hanji, so I can see maximum of you are coming with the right answer. Now IRDAI, chalo, I have kept a question regarding IRDAI. So IRDAI was established in 1999. It was established in the 2000. Sorry, the IRDAI Act was passed in 1999. Who is the current chairman? This is a very easy question. Come on, who will be giving me the right answer for question number 11? Not all, maximum would be the right answer. So maximum of you are going with Devashish Panda. Yes, my dear friend, it is very much in news. And IRDA, if you are following the news, they have released regarding surety bonds. If you have time, read about it. Surety bonds are really very important when it comes to the financial part, because many of the letter of credit and many of some cumbersome financial process will be easier with the introduction of surety bonds. And my dear friend, there are 6 types. Although I don't remember the names of each and everyone, but I remember that there are 6 types of surety bonds. But if you are going for phase 2, please do this particular topic. There can be a question in objective part. Okay, so I hope you know about it. So now let's move to question number 12. Again on a forex market, because forex market is directly quoted in your syllabus. That's why I have kept some questions on forex market. Exotic currency pairs. Let's see who gives me the right answer. Newly Nayak. Okay, now we have Nayak in our chat as well. Nice name, by the way. So Malhotra committee, yes. I can see participation is increasing. That's really good. If you are liking my lectures, then you can leave a good comment in the chat box below. Or not chat box, comment box. So not wasting much of your time. Exotic pairs, exotic currency pairs. Exotic currency pairs means that there is some major currency tied up with some developing country currency. For example, take USD in India. Okay, India is a developing country. USD is a major developed country. For example, Australian dollar is tied with Indian national rupee. This is also very important. If you are taking, let's say, Australian dollar with Chinese renminbi, CNY जिसे बोलते हैं अपन. I hope you know about the digital form of eCNY as well. So read about it, because they can ask you regarding anything. So Australia is again a developed country, but according to many sources, China is still a developing country. So that's why there was a match. So that's why the answer will be C. That is one major currency against small or emerging economy. So I hope it's very much clear to you now. Now in the world of finance, which of the following clearly defines hot money? A very important concept, I would say. Currently, this is the situation which is going into the world economy. You can see that INR, which is our Indian currency, is depreciating in nature. I also hope you know about the difference between depreciation and devaluation. If you know about it, comment your answers. Hanji, so who will be giving me the right answer for question number 13? Let me see the chat box. Come on, everyone. I challenge you for question number 13. So, musical Yatri. Nice. Nisha is going with B. No, the answer doesn't look like B. Because hot money, yes. Akhil has come in with the right answer with the first. This is the fund which is dumped into the country via the advantage of favorable. Right now, if you see USA, one of the most important countries to the world economy, they are expecting a high inflation. To curb the inflation, the current वहाँ पे जो central bank है, we know वहाँ पे उन्हें बोलते हैं Federal Reserve. If you know about it, Federal Reserve is increasing the interest rate. So what currently is happening in the world economy, all the developing economies are seeing outflow of the funds because maximum of the FIIs, foreign institutional investors, are pulling out their money and they're investing their money into the US economy. So why the reason is this? Because let's assume that you are a FII. If I give you a chance to earn in dollar and if I give you a chance to earn in rupee, then what will be your choice? You will be saying it's dollar. Why? Because today dollar is more than 75 rupees. So that's why if you are having a interest rate rise in major countries, so you will go in that particular country and you will dump your amount into that. So this is the current situation of your world economy as well. There can be a question on this particular question. If you remember in 2013, I hope you know about paper tampering. If you know about it, this is a must read article. If you have time, if you are free from your WhatsApp and if you are free from watching Shark Tank and all, read about taper tantrum. This is a must know concept of all the financial students. So now let me tell you, this is the concept regarding hot money. For example, currently India is seeing an outflow of funds and all the fund is now invested into the US economy because the interest rates over there are rising. Okay. So that is favorable interest rate which is happening in US. So answer will be A. Now my dear friends, if you see, to stop this particular I would say flow of money, India has introduced a concept, or not India, the world economy uses Tobin tax. I hope you know about it. Tobin tax is introduced by the world economies to reduce the hot money. Because of Tobin tax is levied over it. In India, there is security transaction tax. Security transaction tax is as good as like a desi avatar of Tobin tax, I would say. So this is the form of which is applied into the Indian economy. And if my dear friends, if you are aware of this particular development by RBI to stop this particular I would say hot money, RBI has introduced VRR. I hope you know about voluntary retention schemes, which has a lock-it period of 3 years. So if any FPI is coming into India and he is choosing VRR route, in India FPI can invest via 3 routes. Out of that, one route is VRR, that is voluntary retention route. Under this, if FPI invest, they will have to keep their money for 3 years. And currently, if I'm not wrong, one of the MPC has raised the list to 2.5 lakh crore rupees. Please note this point. All this point is like very, very crucial to all of you. Yes, STT. Nilesh knows the answer. Superb. And my dear friends, now let's move to the next question. Unless this is for your all, I would say, revision purpose, I'm not reading all this because this is just I would say brick and mortar system which I don't follow. Now let's come to question number 14. In this particular question, we will also discuss regarding NPA. Let's have a good discussion regarding NPA and let me test your knowledge because one concept just propped up in my mind. Come on, answer question number 14 first. Yes, 2.5 crore. Yes, superb. Till then, I will have a small water break. Please allow me. Until then, please answer your question number 14. Very basic question. Hanji. So maximum of you are going with D. Yes, D is the correct answer. That's the distance between the bid and the ask price. First, let's complete this question. Then we will discuss about NPA. Okay. Because today I was evaluating a copy on NPA. That's why some random thought came about NPA. This is nothing related to Forex. So please keep this away from Forex. But we will discuss about NPA because I wanted to share some knowledge with you. And I wanted to test your knowledge. Now coming back to Forex. The first is bid price. Okay, and the second is ask price. Bid price is also known as buy price. Okay, and ask price is also known as sell price. If you calculate the difference between them two, if you minus bid minus sell, then you will come with spread. Okay, now for just your additional information, if spread is higher, for example, if there is more spread, it means that there is volatility in the market. If spread is lower, then it means there is less volatility. This much is enough for this particular question. Now let's discuss about NPA. Okay, first of all, NPA refers to any asset via which the obligation of a borrower is not completed and you are not gaining that particular amount back. Now, if you see the phase 1 of RBI, there was a question regarding SMA. SMA stands for Special Mentions Account. Special Mention Accounts. Some people also and off in between, so it's totally up to you, but it's Special Mention of Accounts. Okay. So, under SMA, there are three categories. First is SMA 0, SMA 1, SMA 2. Okay, there is a different I would say time period. The first will be 0 to 30 days, then it 30 to 60 days, 60 to 90 days. The concept behind this is, if you are not getting that particular amount, for let's say the amount is due on today, but if you are not getting it tomorrow, then you have to make a special mention of that particular account. Okay, now my dear friends, my counter question to you, please listen it to very carefully. How many categories of NPA are there in India according to the RBI? Let's see who gives me the right answer. How many NPAs are there? In how many NPA categories are there? Mind you, I am asking about the categories. Okay. How many categories of NPA are there? So Soumya is also saying 30, 60, 90. Okay, we appreciate your knowledge. Nilesh is also going with the same thing. How many? Yes, Manas is saying 3. Superb. Even Music Yatri. Wow, good name. I have to dump my eyes to see you. That is 8. No, there are 3 categories of NPA. Firstly, all assets are classified as standard, and there are different provisions which are made on standard assets. Okay, so that is something a very big thing to discuss. But now let's discuss regarding the NPA. For example, if you are not realizing your amount including interest after 90 days, then you have to put that particular asset into substandard asset. This is your first category of NPA. Mind you for my bad handwriting, but I am just sharing the concepts, and I hope my voice is really very clear to you. Substandard assets. Then you have your doubtful assets. Okay, and then you have your loss assets. Okay, time various paid. If you see time periods, if that particular asset has been for NPA under for 12 months, then it will be classified as a substandard. The same thing applies for doubtful, but it's like it has to be substandard for 12 months, and loss is like you are not gaining anything out of it, so you will be categorizing that as a loss asset. So I hope you know about all these different categories of NPA. Also, if there is a question which I was today evaluating, that particular student just told me the definition of NPA, that too in a very vague manner. So I request you, if there is any question on NPA, please have a professional look. Journal answer तो सब लिख देंगे. Have a professional look. If you want to have if there is a body, if there is a question regarding NPA, do include all this category. This is really very important. Unless and otherwise you will not gain your marks. Question number 15. This is a short question of objective, or if you are not able to include that in the objective, take it as a fodder material. Okay, this is a short question. Question number 15, my friends. Okay, now musical Yatri is saying total 8 codes. Superb, thank you. So Manas is coming with 5th. Nilesh is also going with A. So can someone let me know how many financial institutions? That is, there are 4 financial institutions. Yes, the answer is A. Can you name that in a very fast manner, because I am not waiting for your slow answers. Let's see how many financial institutions, all India financial institution, mind you, are there in India. Can you name them? Yes, the first one is NABARD, our very own NABARD. The second one is SEBI. Then you have your Exim Bank, and then we also have this particular institution which is known as NHB. Okay, so these are the four development financial institutions which were there in India. Now NABARD is also there, and I'm not asking you many counter question, but I'm just writing some facts for you, and I hope you know the answer of this. Current chairman, which is the first chairman of NABARD, is KV Kamnath. Very important name in the, I would say, financial market. KV Kamnath committee. If you relate it with the RBI thing, KV Kamnath committee was there for COVID resolution of some assets. Okay, if I'm not wrong, there were 26 sectors for which KV Kamnath committee introduced some four ratios. Okay, and these four ratios will be used by different financial institution to help all those 26 sector companies to come out with the financial planning. Current chairman of NABARD is KV Kamnath. Authorized capital is 1 trillion rupees, or 1 lakh crore as well, not 1 lakh crore, sorry, 1 trillion rupees. When it comes to the paid up capital is 20,000 crore. Okay, this is also very important. This is really very important. Maximum of you know about just authorized capital, you don't know about paid up capital. Paid up capital of NABARD is 20,000 crore. You have to note this particular point. What is the difference between these two amount? Don't go that much into the deep. What this is what I suggest, but just for knowledge sake, authorized capital is the total business, I would say, quantity which an NABARD can do, and the current paid up capital, which is the current, I would say, quota of fund, is 20,000 crore. Now also note this particular point. Government has given a grant of 5,000 crore. I hope you know about this. This is really very important. Okay, then if you see under RBI Act 1934, I hope you know about it. This is really also really very important. If you do some important reading on RBI Act 1934, like section number, like section 7 is for board of director and so on and so forth. RBI Act section 45N and section 45L is used for creation of NABARD. This is also very important for all of you to understand. Now my dear friend, I think this much knowledge regarding NABARD is enough, and if there is an objective question, take less than 5 seconds to answer it, because if there is an objective question, all the facts are rightly mentioned on your screen, so you can note about it. Hanji, so now let's come to question number 16. Now I am asking you, was the Foreign Exchange Regulation Act passed? This is 1973. Very easy question. I'm not wasting much of your time. FERA was passed in 1973. Okay, FERA was replaced by FEMA. FEMA was, remember this, FEMA was passed in 1999, although the act was implemented on 2000. So please remember these 2 years. Now most important thing, the only difference is regarding this is regulation and this is management. And under section 10A of FEMA, RBI has been entrusted to do all the foreign dealings. So if RBI is giving, let's say, authorized dealer license to any bank, then it has been, the powers have been defined under section 10A. If you are seeing RBI is putting some penalties of different banks, then it's section 35A of your Payment and Settlement Act 2007. I hope you know about such sections because it's really important. Now for authorized dealer, there are 3 categories. I hope you know about it. Authorized dealer 1, authorized dealer 2, authorized dealer 3. Okay, and there is also full-fledged money changers. So this is not a category of authorized dealer, but they deal in the foreign dealings. Okay, this is not a category. So there are 3 categories of authorized dealer. For example, all scheduled commercial banks are in a type of authorized dealer. They can do maximum of the foreign dealings. And if you read about this particular knowledge regarding this money management or something, money market transfer scheme, something was there in which Fino Payment Bank has been allowed to do so. So what is money management transfer service scheme? Something, it's a way of foreign remittances. I hope you know about all this different stuffs. Now let's come to question number 17. Hanji, so who will be giving me the right answer for question number 70? RMC. What is RMC? In our side, it's Rajasthan Medical College. So what is SWIFT? SWIFT is also known as Hanji. So SWIFT, very much in the news because of our Russia-Ukraine war. I hope you know about it. I hope there is a peace settlement between these two countries. Yes, it's also known as Business Identifier Code. SWIFT, please remember, it's of 8 to 11 digit. It's only used for your messaging purpose. It is not used for your transfer purpose. This is also very important. Now when the transfer shoved is propped out, let me discuss about NEFT. Remember all the limits: NEFT, IMPS, UPI, let me write it, then we will discuss about it, and then we have also have RTGS. Okay, so now let's discuss about different limits in IMPS. Come on, let me know what is the current limit of funds via which you can transfer your funds. IMPS is immediate payment service. What is the highest limit? Can someone let me know? It was recently changed. What is the current highest limit via which the funds can be transferred? 8 to 11 digits, yes, we have discussed about it. Business identifier code. Can someone let me know what is the highest limit for IMPS? NEFT 5 lakh. NEFT 5 lakh. Yes, NEFT 5 lakh I don't know, but yes, the current limit is 5 lakh for IMPS. For NEFT there is 1 to no maximum, I think, but if someone is doing NEFT 5 lakh, I don't know. For UPI, please remember under UPI 2.0 the limit has been increased to 2 lakh, but according to some sections of RBI or according to some sections of NPCI rather, UPI limit has been increased to 5 lakh rupees when it comes to the retail investment into the debt. So this is also very important. You have to understand the terminology behind this. And for RTGS, again, there is no maximum, but minimum limit is 2 lakh. I hope you know about all this particular fund. Yes, Nix is coming with my support. In NEFT, there is minimum transfer of 1 rupee to no maximum. Hanji, so we have discussed about this. In IFSC for India, for example, if you are understanding Indian Financial Service Code, I think the maximum is 11 digit. Okay, and the 5th digit is 0. Okay, so I hope enough of knowledge. Which of the following currency is not included in the calculation of SDR? We have covered this particular point just before previously as well. So please take less than 10 seconds to answer it. I'm not wasting much of your time. Yes, the answer will be none of the above, because all the currencies we have discussed, US ka USD, UK ka sterling pound, which is also very important, or I would say sterling pound, sorry, and then we have yen of Japan, then we have China ka renminbi, or which is also known as yuan, and then you have euro. So I hope you know about it. This is really very important. And also tell me what is the current size of euro, or I would say European Union, sorry, because this is related to your ESI part, different continents or different this geographic something. So EU में there are total 30 member, if I'm not wrong. 28 from our European Union only, and 2 are from North America. Okay, if we are discussing about different countries, let's discuss about this particular point as well. This is also very important. Like we have NEFT, RTGS, and all. In Europe, there is a system which is known as Target. Target is used for all this purpose. More importantly, in US, they have this particular system which is known as chips, I think. Yes, chips is used in US. So if don't read just about it, just read about the different international banking concepts. In UK, if I'm not wrong, there is chaps. Most importantly, yes, one more important point which came to my mind regarding your RBI annual report. Okay, if you understand this particular point, mind you, there is a very important question which I am telling you right now. Recently, NPCI, product of UPI, and we have Singapore agency which has introduced Pay Now. These two particular components will be, they will be merged, or I would say they will be syndicated in between them. So please remember this particular point. This is also very important. And if you are waiting for RBI annual report summary, it will be released tomorrow on your courses of different courses of EduTap. Hanji, so question number 19, my favorite chapter. There are some unemployed people in my classes as well, I can see. Not answering the question, just wasting their time. Question number 19, come on. Question number 19, my friend. Basel 1, mainly this is your risk management chapter. Question number 19, Basel 1 mainly catered to the credit risk, and later it was extended to more importantly, Basel 1 was launched in 1988. In the same year, Kalyan Sundaram group was also set up. It was formally inducted into area, that is in India. RBI started the implementation of Basel norms in 1999. Very important. If you also want to know about Basel 2, just note this particular point. Basel 2 was launched in 2004, and if you also know about Basel 3, Basel 3 was launched in year 2010. I hope you know about all this here right now. Sanjay Singh, please leave my class, I request you. You are just a piece of shit, I would say. So now, who will be giving me for answer for question number 19? Let's see who gives me the right answer for question number 19. Anji, so who will be giving me the right answer for question number 19? Let's see who give me the right answer for question number 19. Hanji, it's market risk. Sorry for so much delay. There was some technical default at my end. So if you see Basel norms, it was firstly introduced in 1988, and then it was RBI introduced that particular norms in India in the year 1999. Under Basel one, there was firstly catered it was firstly catered to the credit risk, later it was extended to the market risk. This is also very important concept. You have to understand under Basel norm, which is your CRAR, sorry, that is risk capital to risk weighted asset, has been fixed at 8%. I hope you know that how 8% is there, or just allow me 1 minute, I will tell you about the whole summary. 8%, that is your, if you see the formula of capital adequacy ratio, which is as good as the synonym of CRAR. Capital adequacy ratio is tier 1 divided by tier 2 capital divided by risk weighted assets. Now don't go that much into the deep how tier 1 and tier 2 came out, because the time is very much less right now. Just remember the key data, that is also very much important. Tier 1 and tier 2. Okay, so according to Basel norm this is 6%, and according to Basel norm this is 2%. So that's why total is 8%. Now according to RBI, tier 1 can be divided, not according to RBI, according to the Basel norms, tier 1 can be again divided into CET1, and it can be again divided under additional tier 1. What is CET1? CET1 stands for common, or I would say common equity, that is CET1. Okay, so CET1, if you see, that is 4.5%, and this is 1.5%. So that's why the total is 6%. So T1 is capital is divided common equity tier 1. Yes, now I remember the name, that is common equity tier 1. Okay, and then you have your additional tier 1. So don't go that much into the deep of definitions, because the time is really very much less now right now. Just remember this particular flow chart which I have just made for you. Now the answer is A. Also remember this particular term, which is Herstat risk. Herstat risk is also known as settlement risk. This is an international settlement. If it takes place, it happens because of Herstat risk, because of the time difference. I hope you know about this. Now according to Basel norms, we have just covered that CRR, that is capital adequacy ratio, is 8%. Okay, but according to RBI, our very own mighty RBI, this is 9%. Extra 1% is there because of complexities of Indian financial system. This is the keyword which has been mentioned under the RBI preamble as well. Now according to RBI, again let's make some diagram. Tier 1 and tier 2, my friends. Tier 1 is constituted again has a 7%. So please note this particular point. According to Basel, tier 1 is 8%, but according to RBI, the tier 1 is 7%. Or not 7%, sorry, the tier 1 according to Basel is 6%, so 7%. Okay, so I hope this much is very much clear to you. If you analyze the previous year question, directly question was asked from this component, that what is the tier 2 capital. So answer was 2%, although maximum of the question, maximum of the student says it's 9%. No, that is capital adequacy ratio. You have to understand the whole structure. I hope you know about it. Read all this explanation in your homework. Now let's come to question number 20. Okay, I can see maximum. I hope that much is very much enough to you. Is YT session is enough for phase 2? No, definitely not. I'm just covering important concepts. But if you request us, or if you mail us at this particular ID, we can have a good revision session of finance and management. Yes, the answer will be B. Subsidiary ledger account, again a static level question. There are two types of accounts which are maintained by RBI when it comes to the government security dealing. Just remember these two. Yesterday we have discussed about WMAs as well. WMA was introduced in the year 1997. This is also very important. There are two types of WMA. So if you have not seen that particular lecture, watch it. Although the discussion level was a bit lower in that particular lecture, but I have tried maximum to cover it. Hanji. So now again a very easy question for all of you, I think. Just answer it rightly. See, the more and answer will be Tapan Ray. We have discussed this multiple times, and why I'm discussing this, because this has a special mention in your RBI annual report. Cover it. And for there is an also special mention regarding a committee which was formed for urban cooperative banks. Urban cooperative banks forms are also known as primary cooperative banks. Mind you, I am using the bank, not society, so it's urban cooperative banks. There is a committee which has been made under NS Vishwanathan, again a very important person. He is the deputy ex-deputy governor of RBI, I think. So remember this particular committee as well. We have covered PV Kamnath committee. Also, we have covered Tapan Ray committee. We have also covered Jayant Kumar Dash. This is for your digital lending committee. This is also very important. Again, a very special mention in your RBI annual report. Okay, I hope you know about all this particular frameworks. And CIC, if I have told you previously also as an example, 100 crore yaad rakhna, because this is the minimum amount of fund which is needed for registration of CIC, that is core investment companies, and all core investment companies are a type of NBFC. I hope you know about it. Hanji, so now coming to inflation, my favorite chapter. Hanji, so who will be giving me the right answer for question number 22? Question number 22. Let's see what question number 22 is asking. Demand pull inflation is caused by overall increase of demand in goods and services which builds up their prices. Cost push inflation. So this is testing your knowledge regarding the causes of inflation. So if you know about 3 causes of inflation, then this particular question is like a cake walk for you. What are different causes of inflation? First can be your demand pull inflation. Second can be your cost push inflation. And the third can be your monetary inflation. 99% of the aspirants who are sitting out there don't know about monetary inflation, and such questions comes in your exam because this is very important. And in COVID time, monetary inflation was very much in the news. So listen to me carefully. Demand pull inflation, in this particular inflation, there are too much less goods, but the demand is too much. For example, in COVID time, there was some hydrochlorine something, I don't remember the exact name, but if you see in the black market, that was sold at one medicine was sold at rupees 30,000 or something. So in oxygen prices as well. So that was demand pull inflation. How demand pull inflation occurred? There were less resources from the supply side and there were more demand from the buyers. Also a very important term, that is too much money. It's chasing very few goods. Please note this, in demand pull inflation, too much money, बहुत सारा money is chasing very few goods. बहुत सारे गुड्स के पीछे है. जब बहुत सारा पैसा बहुत कम गुड्स के पीछे रहेगा, then this particular demand pull inflation will occur. In economics, aggregate demand is used, but let's understand in the simpler way. Cost push inflation. Cost push inflation is what? When your raw material prices increases. For example, अभी अगर crude oil, अगर आपको पता हो, जो कि हम लोग दुबई या फिर अरब कंट्री से एक्सपोर्ट करते हैं, करंटली अगर आप कोविड के समय में देखोगे, इट वाज रिगार्डिंग $40. दैट्स व्हाई इन्फ्लेशन वाज कमिंग डाउन, बट नाउ it is again back to a very harmful level of 70 to 100 USD per barrel. That's why inflation is now picking up. The same situation is right now happening in India as well. That's why RBI governor recently told that the interest rates will rise, and it's a no-brainer for you. Monetary inflation, again go back to the COVID time. Relate the concepts with your current happenings. What is monetary inflation? When the money supply in the economy is too much. When the money supply in the economy is too much, then the monetary inflation will occur. As simple as that. Now if we come back to the question, we see that statement A and B are correct. Now statement C is incorrect. Cost push inflation is generally good for the economy. No, this is completely a stupid statement, I would say, because demand pulled inflation is recently good for the economy. If demand is increasing, then obviously a rational seller will increase the supply as well. This is a very important concept for your economics as well. तो सब पढ़ लो आज यहाँ पे. Okay, so I hope you know about it, that it's demand pull inflation which is good for the economy. I have told you the reason. Cost push inflation is not good for the economy. That's why the answer was C. Now my favorite question again, question number 23. Yes, Pragya has given me the night name, and I request you all to please read in the chat only because it's hydrochlorine something. Hanji, so who will be telling me the right answer for question number 23? Let me see the chat box now. Question number 23. The same concept was there under your 2021 PYQs as well. Previous year question. PYQ stands for previous year question. Yes, Uttam has started the answer with D. Yes, it was not regular payment. Mind you, this was retail payments. A very easy question. Now, if we are discussing about regulatory sandbox, please know that there are 5 stages, and my dear friend, this is the evergreen topic like PSL as well. So PSL, we will discuss about PSL in the later part, but regulatory sandbox, mind you, my dear friend, this is really very important for your phase 2. And if there is a question regarding, let's say, fintech, and if there is a question regarding let's say innovations in banking, if you are not mentioning then sorry to say your answer will look bleak. Now, regulatory sandbox is of 5 stages. Right now, there are 4 cohorts which have been released by RBI. Cohorts means different stages. The theme of first cohort was retail payments. This is really very easy. Please remember this. Then the second theme was cross-border payments. Again, a very easy. The third theme was MSME lending. Or third theme means that the theme of third cohort was MSME lending. And the theme of fourth cohort was something, I would say, prevention of financial fraud something. Prevention of financial fraud. There was some more one more word which is not coming to my mind right now. It was prevention and something of financial fraud. So you have to remember all these different funds, all these different I would say themes. This is really very important. Yes, prevention and mitigation of financial frauds. Prevention and mitigation of financial fraud. So thank you, Nilesh, for putting me correctly. Thank you very much. Now, I am very sorry that I have distributed my screen into very dirty manner. So the statement A is correct. We have just discussed that the theme of second cohort was cross-border payments. That now IDA as well as your SEBI are coming with their cohorts. They are following the route of RBI, which is really very good. And the statement C is very general in nature, which is also very correct. Now that's why statement D was incorrect, because this is not regular payments. I have discussed it about you. Do read regarding the 5 stages of regulatory sandbox. This is covered in your EduTap notes as well, or if you are not an EduTap subscriber, then do read it on your RBI website. Hanji, a very easy question. I am not wasting much of your time over here. The answer will be SEBI. Why? Because Kumar Mangalam Birla Committee, which is on corporate governance, and this is on banking, right? Okay, so this was set up for banking purpose. So this was set up by SEBI. I know you all know the answer, but my dear friends, your homework will be for RBI fit and proper criteria. When I was in my interview times of RBI, this was my I would say question which was asked to me, and I was totally blank. So I repeat you not to do the same mistake. So do this particular question, RBI fit and proper criteria, which is for PSBs. Do let me know the age of director or the age of CEO or something which is being prescribed by RBI. The minimum age is 35 and the maximum should be 67. Chalo, maine hi bata diya. Let's move aage. And also note this particular point that FPIs, this was your question. This is also related to your corporate governance. FPIs in India can be 74%. The total limit, which is foreign portfolio limit, can be 74% in banks, and it can FDI limit, that is foreign direct investment limit, can be 20% in banks. Again taken from your corporate governance chapter of PYQs 2021. Let's move ahead to question number 25. Hanji, so who will be giving me the right answer for question number 25? Again, this is taken from your inflation. Question number 25. Come on, I need answers from everyone. Yes, 67 is the maximum age. FDI 20, yes, Nisha has gone with the right answer. Uttam is going for E. Only statement C is correct. Superb. Why only statement C is correct? Let's decode this particular question. Now in inflation, there are different concepts. Okay. So the first concept is regarding the inflationary gaps. Inflationary gaps told you what? That the government spending is too much. They are investing too much into the social sector. They are also investing too much into the freebies. They are also investing too much into the national highways project, and so on and so forth. So inflationary gap is by government. Deflationary gap is opposite of inflationary gap. Government is doing nothing and they are just collecting taxes. And statement C is regarding open inflation. Open inflation means a situation wherein the monetary authority as well as the supply side authority, they are not controlling inflation, because some mild inflation, please note this particular point, mild inflation is always good for the economy. Mild inflation always reflects growth. If prices are rising by slow rate, that's what demand pull inflation tells you about. If pricing are rising at slow rates, that is a sign of a good economy. So please note this. So I think we have covered this. Now we are coming to question number 26. Now this is also a very important concept. Let me have some discussion with you. When it's coming to inflation, there are different types of inflation. First is deflation. I need answers from everyone. Come on. Then only I will discuss it. Question number 26. Let me see the chat box as well. So Uttam is going with B. Only B is correct. Okay, yes, the answer will be B. A very thumbs up to Uttam, because his answers I am seeing he is going correctly on the maximum part. So touch wood for your knowledge. Now see, these two are the most important types of inflation. There are different types which we'll be covering right now only. So be there. Under deflation, for example, first let's understand what is inflation. So today, let's say Parle-G packet was of rupees 100. Okay, I'm talking about 1 kilo packet. Okay. So today's Parle-G package is rupees of 100. Yes, tomorrow it becomes of 120. So rise of 20%. This is inflation, my friends. This is nothing. Inflation is just a general increase in the prices of the commodity. As simple as that. And if you are telling too much into the definitions of inflation, then you can add your own adjectives and so on and so forth. Now deflation. Now if tomorrow this particular packet becomes of rupees 20, that is, there is a negative inflation. Okay, and opposite of inflation is known as deflation. So remember this, opposite of inflation. Deflation is negative prices. You are going down. Okay. Disinflation. Now, my dear friends, today let's take first day the prices were 100. Under second day the prices was 120. Now, my dear friend, again the prices increases by 10%. So what will be? It will be 132. So here you have to understand. Tomorrow the rate of inflation was 20%, but today the rate of inflation is 10%. So what is disinflation? Although the inflation is positive, but there is a decrease in the rate of inflation. As simple as that. Don't get confused. Many people who have done masters in economics, they don't know the difference between these two. So this is the condition. So I hope you know about these two terms. Now there is also skew inflation. What does skew inflation means? Skew inflation means, let's say today Parle-G is costing rupees 100, yesterday it's cost rupees 20. Now in the same bracket category, let's take hide and seek. In the same industry, not bracket, hide and seek. For hide and seek, let's say the price is 100, but yesterday it reduced to 80. So there is an imbalance within the category only. For example, let's say today the Maggie, which we all need, it's become right. It increases in the prices, but in the same category, if you take Yippee noodles, they decreases. So this is skew inflation. Also, there is a concept of hyperinflation and galloping inflation. Maximum people also don't know the difference. Hyperinflation means that in the short period of time, the prices zooms up. For example, what is currently happening in Afghanistan or even in Sri Lanka. Okay, so you can see within the fall of US government in Afghanistan or whatever the economic turmoil is there in Sri Lanka, the prices just zoomed up. So this is hyperinflation. What is galloping inflation? Galloping inflation is a, let's say, double digit or 3-digit inflation. Okay, so this is just a higher form, but in hyperinflation we see the rate. Very important component of stagflation. Again, my interview question, this is stagflation. There is a concept that there is a negative relationship between inflation and unemployment. The concept was explained by Phillips curve. If you know about it, I hope you know about it. This is also very important. So under stagflation, it is a situation wherein there is high inflation and also there is high unemployment. So that's why statement B was correct and A and B was interchanged. I hope this much was enough for you. Now coming to question number 27. This is a cause and effect relationship of inflation. Yes, bottleneck inflation also is very important. Under bottleneck inflation, there is a drastic fall of supply. Please note this particular point. Under bottleneck inflation, supply just collapses like anything. Same goes in COVID. You have no supply of oxygen. People are having no resources. So this can be an example of bottleneck inflation as well. Any other inflation which you know and you wanted to test my knowledge? Hanji, so question number 27, my friends. The answer will be shoe leather cost. If inflation is rising, let's take this inflation, let's take this homemade, I would say, situation. Today I'm saving, let's take 100, not 100, 1000, sorry. So if inflation is rising, obviously my saving will reduce. As simple as that, because I have to spend more now. Now if my savings are reducing, please note this particular point, then I will have to go to my bank again and again to withdraw funds. Nowadays we all have UPI and all, but this particular concept was given in a very late century. So you have to go to a bank every now and then to withdraw funds. So if you go bank daily up and down, then your shoes will know they will be getting into a bad state. So that's what shoe leather cost is all about. It explains you the relationship between inflation and savings. As simple as that. If inflation rises, then savings will fall. Okay, I hope you know about it. Anji, a very easy question. We have just discussed it about who issued the first masala bonds. Masala bonds was firstly issued by World Bank, and World Bank of which institution? International Finance Corporation. Now my friends, yesterday also we have discussed about very important classes of bond: term bonds, serial bonds, I would say fixed rate bond, floating bonds, zero coupon bonds, perpetual bonds. We have discussed it like anything. So I request you all to please watch that lecture. It's freely available on YouTube. Make a full advantage of it, and if there is a question on, let's say, different types of bond, then this is your answer. Okay, now my friends, we have this particular bond which is also known as, for India it is masala bonds. For China it is your panda bonds. Samurai bonds are issued in Japan. Please note this particular point. Samurai bonds. Formosa bonds, which was recently in news because of SBI, are issued in Taiwan. Green bonds are issued for your environmental purposes. This is also very important. And if you also know about treasuries are issued by US government. Okay, इसको Yankees भी बोलते कुछ लोग. Okay, so I hope you know about different terminologies of bonds, because bonds, अगर आप उसमें से numerical accept नहीं कर रहे, then there can be a question on these particular concepts. Anji, so all this is known as masala bonds. Question number 29, my friends. Now we are discussing about WPI and CPI. So let me see the chat box again. Yes, China panda. Also there is some elephant bonds, if you know about. Yes, I just have a memory of elephant bonds. Elephant bonds are big infrastructure bonds which are issued for big amount, and they are issued for longer period. And you have to understand this different types of bonds, because it is really very crucial. Now let's wait for question number 29. Let me see who give me the right answer. This is regarding your WPI. WPI, very important, very much in news, because chalo, first you answer this question, then I will let you know. Yes, statement E is incorrect. Why statement E is incorrect, my friends? Total number of items under WPI are 697. This is the most important understanding which you have to gain. Now my dear friends, if you go back in 2011 and 12, there was a group under Sumitra Chaudhary. Miss Sumitra Chaudhary, I would rather say. She was there for changing some, different components of WPI. Now maximum people do not know, which I gained from my experience under my classes of LPS, which was going on Zoom. Many people do not know there was a group regarding Ramesh Singh as well. Ramesh Singh is a member of Niti Aayog. Okay, he was the head of that particular group. There was 17 members, if I am not wrong. 17 members debated on WPI restructuring, and they are currently WPI base year is 11-12. I hope you know it. And if there is only 12, then mark this particular your answer. Okay, and now Ramesh Singh committee is changing it to 2017. Although this has to be accepted, but this is very much in the news as well. Now for WPI, please remember, WPI has 3 categories of good. Okay, we have primary, we have manufacturing, and we have fuels and power. Okay, you have to tell me in comment box that which of the following category of good has the highest weightage. This is also very important. WPI has no services. Please remember this particular point. It only has goods. Okay, please remember this particular point. And under WPI, it is released by Ministry of Commerce and Industry, and associated office is I would say this Office for Economic Advisor. Okay, so this is really very important. Please note all these particular points. We have covered, yes, the if you are not able to answer, the maximum is manufacturing. It's more, it's around 64% if I'm not wrong. So it's really very important. 64% of the goods come from comes from this. And also, my dear friends, if the I have just told you regarding this, if they ask you regarding the base year, because in previous year of, if I'm not wrong, 2018, they have asked you regarding the base year. So if there was both the answers are there, then mark your 2011. Same goes for CPI. Now we are covering CPI along with WPI. WPI versus CPI, my friends. And so by this time tomorrow my lecture was closed, but right now I can see my participation is increasing, so my participation is also increasing. So it's like a two-way relationship. You give me responses, I will give you knowledge. तुम मुझे खून दो, मैं तुम्हें आज़ादी दूंगा. But in my class it's like तुम मुझे responses दो, मैं तुम्हें knowledge दूंगा. हाँ जी, so let's see who give me the right answer. Question number 30, my friends. Or first let's discuss about CPI only, because we have not covered CPI, and CPI is really very important. Hanji, so who will be giving me the right answer for CPI? Yes, so Uttam and Nilesh are now, I would say, on different roads. Nilesh is saying only B is correct. Uttam is saying only A and B are correct. Okay, let me read the statements then, because these two are a very good question. WPI measures inflation at each stage, while CPI measures. This statement is correct, yes. CPI covers only consumer goods and services, while WPI, this statement is also correct. Prices of CPI are collected voluntarily. No. This is incorrect. So that's why statement C was correct, I think. Okay, so bingo. I think only Nilesh has answered it correctly. So superb, Nilesh. That's really very good. Now please understand the difference between the why these statements are wrong. Let me first discuss that, and then we will discuss about CPI. WPI measures inflation at each stage of production, while CPI measures at the final stage. This statement is correct, because under WPI you will see that the first inflation is measured at the wholesale stage, and then inflation is measured at the retail stage, plus any intermediaries between as well. CPI measures inflation by the consumer's end. It means that what the price I am paying, what is the MRP, and what is the total cost which has been taken by supplier to bring the product to the table. So CPI measures only the consumer side price. Okay, so I hope this particular point is clear. CPI covers only goods and services, while WPI, this statement is a very basic thing. We all know that there is no services, only goods in WPI, but under CPI there is services and there are goods as well. That's why if you see, CPI has a larger number of products and services than WPI. We will cover about CPI, don't worry. Prices of CPI are collected on voluntary. See, when it comes to the collection method, that how different people go and analyze the prices. So if you see, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation appoints certain individuals which are selected via different exams, and these people go to different location to calculate CPI. So that's why CPI is collected on an investigation basis. That's why statement C was incorrect. Whereas in WPI, I will just take a random survey and I will just compute the WPI. That's why you will see CPI takes a time lag, and in WPI there is less time lag. In general language, although there is very less, but in general language. So I hope that much is very much clear to you right now. Now my dear friends, let's discuss about CPI. You can read about different comparatively analysis. Chalo, we will read about this as well. But now let's cover about CPI. This is really very important. In India, if you see, CPI is released on national level. There are 3 CPIs, if I'm not wrong. CPI Industrial Workers, which is released by Labour Bureau of Ministry of Labour and Employment. The base year of the same has been changed to 2016. Then there is CPI Agriculture Labourers. For the base year is 1986, if I'm not wrong. And then there is CPI Combined. The same CPI is used by RBI for inflation targeting framework. Now my dear friends, if you are if you know that under flexible inflation targeting framework, RBI is targeting this particular inflation only. Now if you are having good knowledge regarding CPI Combined, okay, then CPI Combined is a part of 2 things. The first is CPI Urban and the second is CPI Rural. Now my dear friends, please listen to this very much carefully. Under CPI Rural, let's take Okay, CPI ruler में there are 5 categories and total number of products. Okay, total number of products are 448. Okay, please note this particular point. Under CPI urban, there are total 6 categories. Okay, and total number of products will be 460. Now my dear friends, the only category which is differentiating between CPI urban and rural is the housing. Okay, housing sector is not there under CPI ruler. The same categories apply to CPI combined as well, but let's come to that later. That's why if we talk about CPI combined, if I write 460 plus 448, that will be 908. So this is the total number of goods which falls under CPI combined. That's why you see WPI has 697, but CPI combined has 908. Why? Because of services. I hope you know about it. So this is the basic structure how which CPI is formed into the Indian economy. CPI, again I am telling you, it's calculated by NSO, which is an associated office of Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Earlier CSO was responsible. Okay, earlier CSO. Hanji, so I have told you regarding different components. Okay, so this is the your comparatively analysis which we have already covered. You can say that WPI has 3 categories, CPI combined has 6 categories. There are larger number of products under CPI. The base year of both of them is same, that is 2011 and 12. And if nothing is mentioned, then mention 2012. We have covered about all the different components of CPI versus WPI. Now let's come to a very important question. This is my favorite question and I am expecting maximum wrong answers on this. So it's my challenge to you. Question number 31, my friends. Hanji, so who will be telling me the right answer for question number 31? I'm waiting for your answers. Come on. This is my challenging question to you. So only A, B. Okay. Okay. So I can see that all my toppers friend are going incorrect. Till now I didn't receive the right answer. Uttam now has changed it. Uttam has gone with E. That is the correct answer. That is none of the above. All these statements are incorrect. That's why it was a challenging answer. So kudos to Uttam. Now please understand that if you know about different regulations which was brought regarding the housing finance companies, if I am not wrong, under the finance bill of 2019, all the housing finance companies will now be regulated by RBI and they will be supervised. Please remember, there is a difference between regulation and supervision. Okay, so all the housing finance companies will be now regulated by RBI, but they will be supervised by NHB. Okay, so there is a difference between regulation and supervision. The difference is very much minute in nature. Under regulation you make the laws, but under supervision you see that whether the laws are implemented. And if you know regarding housing finance companies, recently in RBI annual report, it has been all the net worth of housing finance company has been increased to 25 crore. Sorry, it's 25 crores. Okay. So this statement was incorrect because of this, that NHB regulates, housing finance company no, RBI regulates. Who supervises? So you have to remember it's NHB. RBI regulates all banking and financial institutions falling under cooperative sectors. No, my dear friends, all banks means what? All banks mean urban cooperative banks and rural cooperative banks. Rural cooperative banks are under dual control. Only the banking function is controlled by RBI. Operation and everything is controlled by state governments. But for urban cooperative bank, yes, you can say that urban cooperative banks are now regulated and supervised by RBI. If you are having time, read regarding this banking Regulation Act ordinance which was passed in 2020-22. Question was there in NABARD phase 2 if I'm not wrong. So this statement was also incorrect. Now the subcommittee on FSGC was formed to assist FSGC subcommittee which is headed by Finance Minister. This is also incorrect. Now my dear friends, please note this particular point. FSDC formed in the year 2010 2010. The idea was mooted in 2008. So there is a difference. If idea is as 2010, if it was formed in 2010, but the idea propped in 2008. Also, my dear friends, please note this particular point, that FSDC, the idea was mooted by none other than Raghuram Rajan. He is like the James Bond of RBI, according to me, or don't take it personal. FSDC has two committees. Note this particular point, and if you have time, read about RBI annual report, the summary of which will be released tomorrow only. So if you see, there are two committees. The first is FSDC committee. If there is nothing mentioned, then yes, definitely the finance minister is the head. Okay, but there is also a subcommittee. Subcommittee is headed by RBI governor. Please note this particular point, and maximum of you don't understand this particular terminologies, but okay, FSDC is headed by finance minister. The subcommittee is headed by the RBI governor. Also, my dear friends, if you are updated with the current affairs, 24th financial stability report was released. 24th financial stability mein, if you are having knowledge, then CAR was around 16%. Sorry, I don't remember the exact data, but it was around 16% only. So you remember all the current affairs regarding different institutions and everything. Let me see the chat box now. Okay, nothing is there. Okay, no issues. I hope now you understand why the answer was E, and this is, I would say, 1.5 the level of RBI. They will not give you this much stuff, but for checking your I would say knowledge, this is really very important. Also remember, urban cooperative banks are also known as primary cooperative banks. There is a difference between urban cooperative banks and urban cooperative societies. Do not confuse them. RBI is just a regulator of urban cooperative banks, and RBI has nothing to do with urban cooperative societies, because NABARD plays a major role over here. Okay, so I have covered this very much in an exhausting manner for you. Yes, it was Finance Act 2019, so I am definitely sure. Question number 32. Fisher effect. We have Phillips curve, which explains us between the relationship of inflation and unemployment. Okay, unemployment, which says that if inflation rises, unemployment will fall. This is Phillips curve. Now there is also a Fisher relationship, that is Fisher effect. Fisher effect relates relates us to the interest rate and inflation. It says that if interest rate if inflation is rising, then the interest rates will automatically adjust. Okay, so Fisher effect is a relationship in macroeconomics, and it describes the relationship between inflation and interest rate. It describes the causal relationship between nominal interest rate and inflation. It states that increase in nominal leads to decrease in inflation. This is the current rate. You increase your repo rate, inflation will fall. The same thing is happening right now also. Sorry. Now let's move ahead. Question number 33. And I think we are now coming to the end part of our lecture, Basel Norms 3. By the time you answer this particular question, I will make some adjustments to my screen. So I hope you know about Basel 3. This is really very, very important. If you see the notification or press releases of RBI, even in RBI annual report, different publications of RBI, you will find the recommendation of Basel. Basel 1 we have covered. Basel 2 was nothing. There was just 3 pillars of Basel. That was your capital adequacy. The first pillar was capital adequacy. The second pillar was regarding the supervisory review, and the third pillar was regarding not minimum, it was regarding the market discipline. Note this 3 particular point. Your Basel 2 is also covered. Just remember that under Basel 1 we have covered only market risk and credit risk, but under Basel 2 we have also added operational risk, and nothing has to be studied regarding Basel 2. You can just read it about it in the newspapers as well. It is very much in the news as well. Now for Basel 3, this is the most important thing. So yes, can I have answers for question number 33? So 2.5. Okay, maximum of you have given 2.5. Okay, now Basel 3, please remember there were 6 pillars which was introduced in Basel 3. Or let me see if I have a new slide over here. Okay, so what is Basel 3? Just give me 2 minutes and the whole gatha will be very much clear to you. Under Basel 3 there are 6 pillars. The first is again capital requirement, which is 8% according to the Basel norms, 9% according to the RBI norms. We have derived each and every percentage value via the flow chart. I think it's very much clear to you right now, but if it is not clear, go back, watch the video again. Okay, then the second pillar is regarding CCB and the third pillar is regarding CCYB. Okay, what is CCB? Capital conversion buffers. What is CCYB? Counter cyclic capital buffers. I again repeat, what is CCB? Capital conversion buffers. What is CCYB? Capital counter cyclic capital buffers. Okay, now these two, the percentage wise, these two seems the same. Okay, that is 2.5%, 2.5%. My dear friends, only the students of EduTap knows that that CCB is a mandatory thing. Okay, and CCYB is a non-mandatory thing. Now what is the concept behind regarding CCYB and CCYB? Okay, CCB is like a mandatory buffer which you have to create. For example, today if Punjab Maharashtra Cooperative Bank failed, and if they are following Basel norms, they have to make an extra buffer of 2.5% over and above the capital adequacy ratio. So what would that buffer do? It will help you to guide your ship into the uncertain times. What is CCYB? We all know there are 4 phases of business cycle. Okay, under business cycle there is a concept of boom, credit boom, which means that you are having a good phase of your business. Under that particular period, banks have been advised to save their capital, and under the time of recession, okay, under the time of recession, banks are advised to use that particular capital which has been saved during the boom time. So what will happen under recession? Banks will be playing a major role to protect the economy. Now my dear friends, if I ask you the capital adequacy ratio with CCB, it will be 10.5% according to the Basel norms, and it will be 11.5% to the RBI norms. Please remember this, CCB is a mandatory thing. Now the third pillar is regarding liquidity ratio, and the fourth pillar is regarding leverage ratio. Now first let's discuss about leverage ratio. Leverage ratio is nothing but T1 capital divided by a total RWA, that is total exposures. Now don't go that much into the deep right now for formula, because they will only ask you journal concepts. Now for leverage ratio, Basel committee has recommended it to be 3%. Okay, but our RBI, our mighty RBI, is very much, I would say cautionary, and they have raised it to 3.5% for normal banks, for all our DSIPs. I hope you know about DSIPs. Can someone let me know how many DSIPs are there? That is domestically systematically important banks. Can you please let me know how many DSIPs are there? For DSIPs, leverage ratio is 4%. This is the whole, I would say, summary of leverage ratio. Now there is liquidity ratio. Liquidity ratio, my dear friends, have been divided into 2 parts. The first is up to 30 days and the next is up to 1 year. For 30 days and up to 1 year. Okay. Now under 1 year, RBI has said that you have to maintain an NFSR. NFSR means what? Net stable funding ratio. Okay? So this has to be above 100%, and this is targeting your liquidity for 1 year. For 30 days, RBI has introduced a concept of LCR. What is LCR? Liquidity coverage ratio. Liquidity coverage ratio stands for only 30 days. It means that for next 30 days, you should have high quality liquid assets for 30 days. Okay. So if you are having high quality of liquid assets for 30 days, then your bank is going good. Same percentage is subscribed, 100%. So you need to have LCR of 100%, and you need to have an NSFR of again 100%. Okay, so these are some important parameters. And the last and the sixth pillar of NFS of Basel III is regarding systematically important financial institutions. Yes, so I can see maximum of you have given the right answer of DSIPs. In India, there are 3 DSIPs: SBI, which is an only public sector DSIP, SDFC, and ICICI. There are 5. Chalo, let's not discuss that much into the deep. If you want to discuss this, we can discuss it in the management lectures. But let's now move it. Now we are coming to question number 34. Who will be giving me the right answer for question number 34, my friends? Which of the following is not a disadvantage of the progressive taxation method? There are 3 taxation system, I think you know about it. First is progressive, the second is regressive, and the last is proportional. Under progressive tax system, if your income increases, then tax rate also increases. Under regressive tax system, if your income increases, then your tax, or I would say if your income is above high level or low level, then to your taxes remain the same. This is your regressive taxes. And what is proportional taxes? A flat tax rate is applied. If you see the current happenings, progressive taxes can be an example of income tax. You increases your if your income increases, then you are liable to pay an higher tax. Regressive taxes, for example, GST. Today, Mukesh Ambani is also paying 5% tax on your Parle-G biscuits, and a labor who is working outside is also paying 5% on your, I would say, on your Parle-G biscuits. So this is regressive taxes. Your income level doesn't matter. All you need to pay is the same tax. Proportionate tax means a flat rate, corporate tax rate. Reliance today is earning, let's say, 500 crore, and let's say today Jealous Limited, which is my name, so Jealous Limited is earning 100 crores. I have to pay the same tax rate of 25%, sorry, 15%. The current corporate tax rate in India is 15%. So this is flat tax rate which will be applicable to all of you. GST is not an example of flat tax rate, because under GST we have 4 different rates. Hanji, so question number 35, a very easy question. We have just discussed it right now only. The banks are expected to maintain a leverage ratio more than under Basel 3. The answer will be 3%. Please note this particular point. I have already told you regarding 4% and 3.5% of other banks. Now I am gaining some speed because I don't want to waste your very crucial time. Chalo, let me know the answer of question 36. This is regarding your GST. A very important component of the Indian financial system. GST was passed on 1st July 2017, if I'm not wrong. Okay. If you are not including this particular date in your introduction part of GST, then sorry to say you are doing a blunder. Yes, I can see now in the chat box many new names have joined us. Manas is going with E. Venus is also going with E. Uttam is also going with D. I would say the first answer which I got it here is Aditi Gandhi. Yes, it's 101 Constitution Amendment which was brought into the for GST. For EWS, if I'm not wrong, it was 103. So I hope you know about all this different institutions. Okay. Question number 37. We are going to have a good discussion on this particular question now. Okay. And I think after this particular question, all the questions which will come into the slide are comparatively easy. So let me take a sip of water because it's too exhaustive. Hanji, question number 37. So I'm waiting for your answers. I think D, priority sector. You have to identify the correct statement. Mind you, please read it again. Nilesh is going with C. Let's see what others are answering. See, PSL is a evergreen thing. Like we also say that TCS, Tata Consultancy Services, or Tata Group, Reliance are evergreen companies of India. Kishore Da ke Gana, Kishore Da, Lata Mangeshkar, all are late Lata Mangeshkar, all are like evergreen personalities. So for PSL, my friends, RBI is definitely going to ask something or related to PSL. The first and the foremost information which you should note is the full form. That is priority sector lending. Lending norms were issued, PSL norms were issued in the year of 1972. Please note this particular fact. If you are not mentioning it in your answers, then it's totally a blunder. And in maximum answers which I have evaluated right now from EduTap, you can see that people are not even mentioning the year of launch. They are not mentioning the allocations which have been made under PSL. They are just doing their own blah blah under PSL, that PSL will help Indian economy. That is okay. We all know that PSL will help. But at least mention the allocations. The correct answer will be C. This is very easy to answer. Yes, I can see maximum of you have gone the right answer. PSL is regulated by Government Security Act. No, this is completely false. PSL provides credit to superior. Again, the नाम में ही हमारे पास priority sector है, तो it doesn't mean superior. C is correct. Priority sector lending is essential to meet limited. This is also linked. It is holistic development or overall development, whatever you want to say it according to your own vocabulary. Now, if you allow me, I just want to discuss about PSL. You can read about it later in the PDF form here. But now let me allow to discuss about PSL. We have discussed that it was introduced in 1972. Okay. Now under PSL, if we talk about in a very simple manner, If we talk about PSL, then you have to understand that there is a concept of adjusted net bank credit, also CEOBE, that is credit off sheet balance sheet exposure. Just remember the full form right now. Please don't go into the deep, because right now it's not the time to become a finance expert. Right now is the time to clear phase 2. Okay, so under clear, please remember that we have different categories. Okay, scheduled commercial bank, payment banks, or not payment banks, sorry, payment banks are not having any allocation of PSL. Please remember this. This is really very important. Okay, we have scheduled commercial banks, we have payment banks, and then we have RRBs. Now first let's start with the different sectors of PSL. My dear friends, there are total 8 sectors of PSL. You will first find agriculture, you will first find MSME, and so on and so forth. You can read that particular list. Like there is education, there is a social sector, then there is a housing, if I'm not wrong, housing, and there is also a sector which is known as others. So there are different sectors in PSL. Now let's understand the total allocation. For scheduled commercial bank, if I'm not wrong, the total PSL allocation is 40%. 40% of total adjusted net bank credit. Now for scheduled commercial bank, this particular is 40%. For small finance bank, let me write it this way. For small finance bank, it is 75%, and for RRBs again it is 75%. Please note this particular point. It is really very crucial. Now after that 40%, there has to be some allocations which has to be made via different I would say different sectors. So out of this 40%, 18%, my dear friends, the maximum weight goes to 18%. 18% goes to agriculture. Yes, if I write it here, it will be good. 18% of the total PSL allocations goes towards agriculture. Okay, more importantly, if you see MSMEs, this is 7.5%. Please note all this different data in your notebook. This is really very important. If you understand of different sectors, it's going that much into deep, but I think just for phase 2 knowledge, you can remember of agriculture, MSME. Agriculture में remember it's 18%. 18% किसका? टोटल का. टोटल कितना हो सकता है? 40% for small finance banks, as well as for small scheduled commercial bank it's 40%. For small finance bank it's 75%, and for RRBs it's 75%. Please remember this particular point. Okay, I hope this particular point is very much clear to you. Now my dear friends, please also remember for MSME it's 7.5%. Again kiska? Total ka. Please remember this particular point. Now there is also a concept of startups. For startups the minimum amount is 50 crore. Now my dear friends, for agriculture, ठीक है, एग्रीकल्चर में फिर से आते हैं. Okay, now for agriculture, if you know, the total allocation has to be 18%. Out of this 18%, banks have to give to small and marginal farmers as well, which is 10%. Okay, 18% ka 10%. So remember, we are going into subcategories now. Okay, and now out of all this, there is also a component of weaker section, जिसको अपन बोलते हैं ना economic weaker section है. For that, the component is 12% for scheduled commercial bank, but for RRBs, the weaker section is 15%. So I know it's very much complicated for you now, but if you make a notes and if you make listen my video, this particular video again and again, then this particular concept will be very much clear. So I have told you regarding this. Agriculture is 18%, MSME is 7.5%. These are the 8 sectors. Okay, you can see housing, education, export credit, social infrastructure, renewable. Agriculture का याद रखना 10% has to be there for small and marginal farmers. This is updated. Many people just go for 8. This is not the right answer. 10 is the right answer now. For weaker section, how much is the journal? 12%. But for RRBs, total PSL is 75 and weaker section will have 15%. So this was my knowledge regarding PSL, although I know I was not able to explain you in a very organized manner, but listen to my videos again and again and you will get it. Hanji. So question number 38. This is also regarding NPAs. If you are having a NPA allocation, we have covered about NPA. So if your NPA amount is more than 50 crore, then it will be called as a red flagged. Okay, then it will be called as a rag flag, which is 50 crore. Okay. Now we also come to consumer charter. This is taken from your functions of RBI. So according to the consumer charter, which has been made by RBI in the year 2014, if I'm not wrong, according to that there are 5 rights. Now how many rights are there? We can see it, but right now the answer will be there is no right of compensation. Please remember this. And if you allow me, these are the 5 rights. You can use this particular point in your answers for your consumer empowerment. Okay, if you allow me, integrated ombudsman scheme is very much in the news. Integrated ombudsman scheme is very much in the news, that there are three ombudsman scheme which has been integrated. The first is your ombudsman scheme for banks, which was introduced in the year 1995, but it was made first amendments in the year 2006. Okay, so this is your uh, ombudsman scheme for bank. Then you have your ombudsman scheme for NBFCs, which was introduced in the year 2018, and then you have your ombudsman scheme. This is ombudsman, mind you, ombudsman scheme for payment and settlement. This was introduced in 2019. So all these three schemes are now merged with integrated ombudsman scheme, jiska we have a very important center at Chandigarh. And you also have to remember that this particular scheme was launched in this particular year itself. And if you are having a good current affairs knowledge, then please remember that all the complaints regarding NBFCs, according to the RBI report of NBFCs, have increased by, if I'm not wrong, it's 22.7%. Please remember this. This is a very important data which can be useful in your this. Liquidity coverage was supposed to require a bank to hold a sufficient liquidity. Again, just mentioned about liquidity coverage. Liquidity ratio can be of two types. We have covered this in the Basel right now. LCR, and you have your NSFR. NSFR is for 1 year. Please remember this. But for LCR, you have to maintain a liquidity of 30 days. Hanji, 2006 is right. Yes. One nation, one ombudsman, truly correct. So who will be giving me the right answer for question number 40? And this will be the last question of our day today. So a good 2-hour session. I think it was a good session. Yes, the answer will be 30 days. The PDF of this will be available in your Telegram group. And I hope I was able to add much more value to all of you. Yes, the answer is D. So if you have any feedback for me, you can drop it here, and you can also write in the comment box below if you need any more help from my side or from EduTap team. Any doubts or anything, I'm open for discussion now. Thank you, Nilesh, and I wish you all the best for your phase 2. You are doing good. Just maintain your pace and you can easily score good marks. Thank you, Manas. Welcome, Manas, sorry. Hanji, we revised. Yesterday also we revised, but yesterday I was not able to add much more value. But today I think it was a really very good discussion. No, this I think will not be uploaded in your course. This is for your YouTube only. Chalo then, I didn't see any. Let's keep personal comments outside only in English. Chalo. I hope it was a great session for all of you. If you have any feedback, you can drop it at hello@edutap.co.in, or you can have a write it in the comment box as well. So welcome everyone. I hope I was able to add good value for all of you. So tata, bye bye, and keep preparing for your phase 2 preparation. If time allows me, I will be there for your management session as well. Bye bye, take care.